Aloha lovelies, welcome back to the channel. It's Empress Hill coming right back at you with another video. Been hitting you with videos back to back to back to back, and I've been getting a lot of response on my lock video. So why not do another lock video for y'all? So this one is going to be a little bit different. I spent a lot of time speaking of my locks, introducing you to a few of them. So now I want to get into more of why I started growing my freeform locks. So let's take it back all the way to about 2007, 2008, when I took a 15-day trip to Costa Rica. And in that time, I was able to visit and explore different parts of Costa Rica. One day I was closer to Panama, the next day I was closer to Yaco, and everywhere in between. So I went to Puerto Viejo, La Fortuna, Caujita. I'm probably pronouncing things wrong, so please bear with me. Yaco, Limon, so all over Costa Rica. And I remember when I arrived, there was a lot of businesses that were closed on that day, and I just couldn't fathom the thought of being closed on a Monday. And it turns out that there was a major soccer game that was happening, and people opted to stay home with their families and enjoy their time watching soccer rather than being forced to work. And our economies are very different, but you see a difference in the way people prioritize. Family comes first, relaxation comes first, and working and capitalism seems to come second. They have a saying out there, pura vida, which means live life. So spending 15 days there, I didn't go with a whole lot of money. So I think in total with the plane ticket and my 15-day stay, I spent around $500. And we lived very humbly. We stayed at different hostels. I think our average cost of living per day was about $8. We hung out in a lot of spots where the locals frequented. So there wasn't really a whole lot of touristy activities going on. And I came back to the States, I was living in Virginia at the time with a whole different mindset. And with that was the start of my journey without even starting my locks. I think that anyone's freeform lock journey starts with your mindset. And once you get your mind to a place where you're not worried about the norm and society's expectations and what's considered presentable, professional, once you can get that part out of your head, you can start your journey with no turning back. And that definitely helped me when I was deciding on what kind of locks that I wanted for myself. And I remember at one time when I first had an interest in getting locks, I was looking at sister locks and twisted locks and all of the different types of locks that are out there. And one thing was consistent, that locks were being made into a high maintenance lifestyle. And what I mean by that is one of the reasons why I wanted to grow locks is for the freedom and to not have to dish out money every month to quote unquote maintain my hair. So that was something that I noticed right away, was when I was still paying to get my hair done or taking time to do my hair a certain way. It all went back to, why am I doing this? And I had to remind myself more than once why I was growing my locks. So getting to a place where I was finally comfortable with free-forming. By 3 years in, at the time I was very heavy in the marketing game, and I noticed I wasn't getting positions like I used to just based on my appearance alone. And that was the sure tell sign that this isn't necessarily my end all career. If I wasn't going to get paid because of the way that I chose to live my life and grow my hair, then that wasn't the job for me. And luckily, it worked out. And I understand that some people don't have that privilege. But for those that are willing to explore beyond and maybe struggle a little and not necessarily have that job that you thought was going to provide and keep you afloat, it changes your whole mindset. And I think once you know that that's no longer for you, the things and the opportunities and the paths that are for you will be more clear and more open. I think sometimes you have to close one door before another one opens. And I can say that that's been an experience that I've had throughout my entire journey. And a few things that I would like to really point out is if you can't accept your own hair, your own process of growing your locks, then you really can't expect anyone else to. So, what I mean by that is, in terms of people, praising my locks, like, oh, you have freeform locks, I wish I could do that, but my job, requires a professional look. So then, my next question to them, without saying any words, it's just a look, is do I not look professional to you? And for some reason, people see you as presenting professional and being on top of your shit based on your confidence and the way you carry yourself, and they can't see that for themselves. So after you say something like that, it's kind of giving you the illusion that you can't be professional based on your hair. And when you go into a workplace, you're probably carrying that around. So again, you can't expect anyone else to see you as professional if you don't see yourself in that way. I had to check one of my friends. It was a marketing gig that came up and they required headshots. It's almost like a modeling gig, so they can discriminate based on your appearance. So I sent a photo of me with my hair pulled back, and let me just give you an idea of what my hair can look like when it's pulled back. And we can always put like some water to smooth the edges down and whatnot. So here we are. Okay, so this is my hair pulled back. And you might not necessarily know that I have dread or locks right away just based on, this front appearance. And for me, knowing that I can wear my hair like this, I don't feel like it's necessary for me to disclose how long my hair is, how my hair is locked or not locked. I don't think that's important. They ask for a headshot. They can determine what they see based on that picture. So this friend of mine, not understanding, said to them, oh, she has locks. And I'm thinking to myself, why do you need to let them know that I have locks? They asked for a headshot. Again, they can make that decision based on the picture that I sent. And if they have a requirement, oh, I would like you to pull your hair back, then that's something that I may or may not be willing to work with. But don't give someone an opportunity to say no to me based on me having locks before they've even had an opportunity to look at my resume and look at, my headshot, the way that I sent it. And, that was a opportunity for me to teach my friend and educate her on what it's like to live this life and have hair like this. All my life, from when I was young, as early as I can remember having hair, I think a lot of women can relate to this. I had people making fun of me because my hair was really short at one time when I was 5. I had these like pom poms. I used to get teased, and by the time I was 11, 12, I could not wait to get my hair straightened. And I went to my mom and told her that I wanted to get a perm, and she said, no, you need to wait until you're a teenager. And by the time I was 13, I made that decision for myself, and I ended up getting a perm. And I hated everything about the experience. I hated going to the salon and spending 6 to 8 hours of my day. I hated the way that it burned. I hated having to sit under the dryer. I hated the way that that burned. And as a long term result of getting my hair permed, my hair never grew past my shoulders. I never cut it, but it never grew past my shoulders. I had damaged ends, and I even have a permanent chemical burn that is covered by my locks now, but a chemical burn from having a perm. And that is just a reminder of why would I pay someone 60, $80 a month to go through that just so that I can have my hair straight and quote unquote look professional. Like, no, I'm not subscribing to that anymore, no longer. And I didn't subscribe to that when I grew my locks either. And I think that locks are like the new perm almost. Yeah, it's a way of wearing your hair natural, but still, oftentimes we spend so much time trying to make our hair so neat, so perfect, same size. We're trying to palm roll it and make sure that all of the loose hairs, and yes, that is a preference. And I'm not knocking anyone who has that preference. But for me, as someone who opted for this lifestyle to express my freedom, it was very counteractive to be maintaining my hair in that way. So for me, I can ramble about this all day. This is something I'm very passionate about. Growing my hair and being concerned about what I was putting in my hair led to my lifestyle as a whole, how I eat, how I think, how I move. So that's only the beginning. So we can get into more of that later on down the road, but I definitely wanted to drop some lines regarding my freeform locks and why I started them. I hope this resonates with you all. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, peace.